We like to build up all the anticipation.
Wait for it.
Let's say hypothetically that I don't know anything about fly fishing.
Yeah, right?
It was like this instant 8-way man crush.
I'm on the fence.
The time we've been doing this podcast, I've never seen Uncle Buck perk up his dolphin procreation. Like you just flipped up out of your chair.
Yeah, he just blew out his blowhole.
What are you talking about?
And that's pretty much my dream coming true is to actually meet you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm the humblest guy I know.
Humble. Work and do trade shows in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You meet some pretty wild guys.
You blew it!
I'm the worst PR person ever. Fire me.
I think I need to get loud. I kick this off tonight.
Like the intro?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Do it. Goodbye, 2017.
Amen, brother. It's been a great year. Welcome to the Sonic Campfire, everybody. This is Uncle Buck. And with me tonight I have...
I'm Ryan.
This is Dave.
I'm Catfish.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Will.
And this has been a great year, guys. It has. Like, we've done a ton.
Done a ton.
One for the record book.
Tatonka.
Yeah, done a ton.
Uwachi.
What? Yeah. Is that Russian?
It's Navajo Russian. It's a mix.
Good trade.
Yeah.
Little Tatonka.
Good year.
Wait, I'm lost.
Waiting. What are you lost on? What are you lost on? You want me to shoot three times up in the air, Steve?
Stevie just joined the combo.
It's a Kevin Costner thing. You wouldn't get it.
Oh, all right. I never heard of her.
It has been an amazing year for Rutten River Pursuits. 2017 going out with a bang, and so looking forward to 2018. We have some just with the YouTube page coming up, and it's kicking off. I tell you what, it's going to be an amazing year coming up. We got one of my biggest things I'm looking forward to is actually the trip to Canada in 2018. I'm not saying I'm excited to fish with Tyler Dunn. I don't think we've ever brought his name up before, but Tyler Dunn is going to be a fun trip.
Who's that? Is he like a fishing guide in Canada?
Wait a
He's a guy with long hair.
You've been
somebody
fishing
or
with
other.
Tyler Dunn?
Wait, how do you know Tyler Dunn?
Is that Mr. Hockey Hair?
Who's been talking to Tyler Dunn?
Hey. Come on, Mr. Ontario.
Mr. Man Crush.
I'm really hoping we get to do another trip to Florida. I don't know if it'll happen, but 2017 was pretty amazing to me. It was sentimental with hunting with my father and wet wading with my brothers. And I tell you what, from a lot of firsts, Stevie got his belly picture of his muskie this year.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never actually heard this story. What happened?
You've never heard this
I've
story?
never heard the muskie story other than the fact that Ryan was trying to video you and you were
I think you're blessed.
not paying attention.
I think you're in the good.
Yeah, so we caught a muskie. We'll make it quick. We caught
were you muskie fishing?
No, I was smallmouth fishing with the bone whopper plopper.
Oh, yeah. He was throwing bone.
I was throwing the bone.
Yeah.
And, Ryan was right beside me. Phil was upstream, 100 yards or so. And hooked a muskie, knew it was a good fish. I thought it was a big smallmouth at first, but it ended up being, I don't know, what did we say, 26-inch muskie, 24, 26, something like that.
Yeah, it was over 2 foot.
Yeah. It was my first muskie, so, that was extra special. And luckily, I had Ryan there to document the whole thing.
Thank goodness.
Now the issue was, it was all on me because I've never caught a muskie before. So
You're really going. You're landing on thick because it wasn't really documented.
We got in so much trouble.
It was, the problem was it was documented.
Yeah.
And
It was also my first muskie documentation.
yeah, it was very well documented.
Bless your heart.
And we just can't share a whole lot of it because we don't have like an
We
R2.
blew it.
We don't have an R2 blooper reel yet.
I heard you got pretty handsy with that fish.
I just didn't,
It scared you.
I horsed it on the way in, so the fish was still, it wasn't.
Don't horse it, Bo.
It wasn't tired at all. I was, fishing with 20-pound braid, so
It was all jacked off. It was mad.
It was mad.
Foul hooked.
Yeah, it was mad. So it didn't tire out at all. I drug it in like a
Log.
like a log, and
like a muskie.
like a muskie. And so he was still pretty squirmy. And I didn't quite have the whole under the gill plate hold
Just
down yet.
Admit it.
And I
Just say it. I want to hear the words.
He set the standard.
You were scared of
The
it.
words
You were
are-
scared of its teeth.
I was.
It was perfection at its finest.
It was.
It was the most amazingly detailed high def 4K belly picture I have ever seen.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
I did like it.
You're
and
welcome.
I was super stoked for you.
And thus the genesis of the belly pick.
I was really excited. But I was too into the moment.
And in Stevie's defense, he was so excited that he truly didn't know that I was filming
I had no
or
idea.
taking pictures.
I had no
until
idea.
that fish was released and upstream about 4 miles.
Yeah.
Like he had no idea.
Well, 5 years from now,
Yeah.
when you look back and everybody on Instagram is all the rave of belly pics, you can remember
It's
that
gonna
R2
happen.
Steve Miser was the first.
it's going to happen.
right,
It's going to happen.
Trendsetter.
I've already seen an uptick.
Photo
in the
credit
belly
to
pick.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean-
Obviously.
Have you checked out #belly pick?
They're on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw some trout pics this year afterwards.
Hashtag fish belly.
Caught on. If you haven't noticed, I took a whitetail belly pic this year.
I've seen circle muskie belly pick since.
You know, I have to give credit.
So that was your shining moment
Yeah.
of the year.
It was.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I got to give credit over here to David Kyle, though, for the shining moment of the first whitetail thrown down on the ground this year.
Thank you.
No, that's all you get. Your time's up.
Okay, no problem.
Next.
We're good.
So that was early archery.
Yeah, that was the first day of archery season for Maryland. So about 7 o'clock, that doe was down. So it was a good day.
Is that Maryland, PA?
That was Maryland. It's an early season. It's like September. It's the first Friday in September after the holiday.
It was barely light, right?
It was a
That
good.
doe is still in velvet.
No, she was. No, I saw a few deer that morning, and there was about 6 that came through at first light, and then this single nanny doe just came through and was able to put a clean shot on her and recovered her pretty nicely. Good blood trail. So it was nice to get meat in the freezer.
It was nice to set the standard.
Yeah.
It got me excited.
Yeah, it's fun.
I was out
Kick
fishing.
off the season that way.
Now, how do you know she was a nanny?
Yeah, what was her profession?
Yeah, how do you know that she chose to be a nanny?
Well, I talked to her at the end of the last season, and
Saw her in home ec.
yeah, she was taking care of some of the other young. You know how it goes. Maryland, a lot of orphans. in
Yeah, she had an
Maryland.
apron on.
Yeah, exactly.
The nanny doe.
She was an au pair.
Did she talk with that nanny voice? Oh,
Did she have a feather duster with her?
that's great.
So that was your shining moment. Now, I think your
My
shining
only
moment had to be the palmated
Oh, the moose knuckle buck.
moose buck.
My moose knuckle buck.
Moose knuckle.
The 9-point that could fit in the size of normal 4 points. So, but yeah,
It was extremely cool. It was a unique buck.
yeah, definitely unique. Yeah, he must have.
Weren't passing on that one.
Yeah, but yeah, he was definitely that was first day of Maryland firearm season. Was able to harvest him right in the morning.
Maryland has been very, very good to me.
How many deer did you take this year?
I've
Like a dozen?
harvested 3 so far.
14, something like that.
Only 3.
37?
Yeah.
Only 3.
I know what he did harvest this year. If I would have to pinpoint David Kyle's epic shining moment of 2017.
Yeah.
It would have to be stealing the bass from the guy in the river who just asked us as we waited by him, please don't fish in that hole right there because that's where I'm about to fish.
That was a real nice smallmouth there,
And he
guys.
threw right in this guy's hole and caught his fish. It was amazing.
What'd he say?
He's like, I'm glad you guys are here. It's actually kind of cool. You know, we're gonna sneak past you. Catfish actually, puts on his charm and talks this guy off a ledge, and as he's doing that, DK starts fishing right in the dude's hole.
I didn't know Catfish was like sweet talking him, and I thought we could fish. And
Well, he was already where we wanted to fish, so I had to
Yeah.
kind of be like, "Hey, boss, you can the hell out of the way." No,
We're gonna head upstream.
There's four of us, and
we're gonna leave you guys alone, but I'm gonna fish while everybody else is talking. So yeah,
that was your shining bass moment of the year.
it was a nice smallmouth.
Did he get mad at you? Did he say anything?
No, he was happy
He
about
put
it.
his charm on and hit it.
Did he?
Yeah. He put a nice fake smile of good on you, congratulations.
Perfect. Everybody wins.
Just release that and go downstream.
It
right?
was a nice fish too.
Yeah.
I see you've learned how to short drift with the best of them. You must have
Yeah.
been with Steve Miser.
taking Steve's notes, got it going on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Rock hopper.
I tried to short drift Ryan 3 different times this summer. I sat with bait like at least 2 nights in the same spot that Ryan caught his epic catfish out of his kayak while he was non-catfishing.
Yeah, right. What were you running that night? A tube?
That was Kitech.
Really?
Yeah. That was a 3-inch.
Catfish?
No, the catfish was way more than 3 inches, but the Kitech itself was only 3-inch. I'm trying to remember the color, but it was
I saw pictures of this
green.
catfish. I was not there that night, but it was for the size of the Moken and the size of the equipment you were using. A good catch.
yeah.
Tough to bring in.
I freaked out, dude. I
It was-
saw that.
it was a big-
whale.
I felt bad posting pictures of it and taking any kind of credit or anything because you guys were down in Florida.
Oh, that's
at the
right.
time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
catching peacock bass and stuff. I mean,
The weird part was we
cool,
could
I
see
guess,
the whole
but-
profile of the fish. Like
Yeah.
I was really, I couldn't, I couldn't believe you actually got the fish in its entirety.
And
like,
not just the belly?
is that the surprising part? It was
yeah, I was actually kind of impressed.
well as the angler. I found it's easier than the cameraman.
Yeah.
It's easier from that side of things.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yanking
Steve.
for real. I got it.
That was
But to get the picture, you have to motor up 300 yards as quick as you can. Quit fishing yourself. That you're on a great piece of structure.
So,
you
real
know,
quick,
that we're
like-
holding nice sized bass. You put all that down,
Yeah.
just so you can take a picture of a buddy with
But-
an awesome catfish.
But so like when he pulled the fish up out of the water, so you knew to come over to him when the water level of the lake dropped an inch.
It was a natural drift towards his boat.
There's some 99-year-old guy on the bank going, "No, that's a catfish hunter I've been looking for."
As I lifted it out of the water, everything in the lake came toward me.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
I get it. That was like Shamu.
that was the biggest channel cat I've ever seen.
It pulled you around.
It did. And I mean, prior to that, I think I caught like that
30 bass.
It was 35, I think, bass at that point.
But who's
But
counting?
I had probably like a 5.5 pound largemouth to my credit
Yeah.
at that point. And I was feeling pretty good about my skills.
Yeah.
And I'm out on the Moken and I'm doing good and I'm becoming a
Working it.
proficient bass fisherman on this lake. And here I go casting this little soft plastic paddle tail lure right up into the bank, into the weed beds. And I just felt a little bit of like a thump, 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 thump. And when I set the hook, this thing just turns my kayak as it heads for the deep water. And I went, what? I had no idea what was going on. And I yelled downstream or down the lake, I guess it was. But DK was down there. He was over 100 yards away, but I'm yelling to him. I'm like, I don't know what I got, but it's big. And he had all that time to reel in his line and then turn his boat with the trolling motor and, just putt back up the lake to get to me, and still film. I think 2 or 3 minutes of the fight.
I think so.
Yeah.
I knew it was worth it when the boat actually turned. Like his kayak was turned by the fish. And I was like, either I'll get him going into the water or I'll get him catching a nice fish.
Either way, it's good.
Either way,
Good footage.
This is great.
I didn't know how it was going to end either, and I was willing to go into the water at
That's
that point.
awesome. That's awesome.
At what point did you know it was a catfish?
Probably about 6-7 minutes.
Whenever
into the
he
fight.
comes up out of the water
I
and
assumed,
says, "Good morning."
Morning. It's going to be a good day.
I assumed that I had something larger than a bass on this hook. And it wasn't until, you've been out here fishing without me. It was one of those scenarios that, it just kind of surfaced, and I yelled back to DK. I'm like, that's a catfish. I don't know channel cat from flathead from whatever. I just know all the boys are down in Florida or on their way to it, and I'm catching this monster.
Yeah.
And I got up on the boat, and I'm yelling things like, why does Hannah Barron stick her hand in one of these
Ham
things?
bone.
What do I do with my hands? I don't know what to do.
Well, the interesting part about that lake is there's very large striped bass in there, too. So I was excited that it could have been a striped bass, but it was an awesome channel cat. So
There's supposed to be muskie in there, too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a
muscular.
variety. It could have been a variety of different nice fish up there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Only pictures of Musty that
Well, I
have
was
our belly
super happy
fixed,
for
though.
you. That was a pretty epic catfish.
Yeah, I was glad it was what it ended up being, and got my hands a little bloody, and
I think this was right about the time where me and Will spent a ton of extra money to get window seats and then didn't get them on the way to Florida. We got window blocked.
Yeah, it's that that airplane that flies south and west.
Yeah, thanks a lot. The south towards the west airplane.
I'll tell you, you guys, I'm glad you guys got down there before Sean and I.
I'm glad we
Because
did too.
You
really-
had
I was so happy about
everything organized and just set up perfectly. By the time we got down there,
we never really
we were
caught
good
much
to go.
before you got there, though.
We were good to go. It was. I wasn't worried about you catching much, but
Everybody
everything
had their
was,
beard oil set up.
Everything was
Lotion.
Oh, lotion,
The beard
sorry.
lotion.
That was one of my favorite vacations of all time.
Oh no, I agree, 100%. And actually, one of my favorite parts of the vacation is before you showed up, sending you pictures every day.
that was painful.
Classic.
That was painful.
Just look at this one. Look at this one.
At least you made it down there. Imagine how the rest of us felt.
I probably would have.
I didn't
Crawled in
even
the
think
hole.
about that aspect. What if Stevie could not have made it and had to look at our pictures all week?
Yeah.
Oh, he would have made it somehow.
It gives
We'd
me
have
an
come back,
ulcer
he'd have
just
been in a
thinking
stroke
about
in the hospital,
it. Yeah.
mumbling.
Rocking back and forth. They got a sweet jacket that keeps his arms down.
All that snuggie.
Put this on, bud. It keeps
His
you warm.
awesome room has pillows on the wall.
Oh, this is rocking.
Filled with down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't want to talk about it.
So much has happened. Let's go through some things. Ryan's boy got a ram a hog this year. Ram.
what?
Both.
He got a
Let me-
ram.
let me
and
rephrase that.
And a wild boar, and his first buck.
Yeah. And we as a group teared up the Susquehanna with smallies.
Oh yeah, it got.
Dare I say, amazingly.
We
I'm pretty sure after this year we should have all just got Kitech tattoos because we bought a few of them.
I'm looking into that.
That was my favorite R2 memory over the last year. It
Wet
was-
wading?
It was
Yeah.
wet wading with the deeper boys. And if I can,
Did you get out more than that, or was that your only time out? Wet waiting.
He came out with
I
us
got to
couple
go out a
times
couple
on
more
pod
times,
night.
but
yeah.
but that day
Sitting
that
on the
whole-
rock.
And I was just going to say, if we could epitomize the day into a 10-minute period, sitting on the rock with Will and Stevie and Catfish.
There was a rock like half an inch out of the water in waist deep water, and it was just perfect for four guys to sit on and reflect on how beautiful the Susquehanna River is.
I was across from you, about Adam's apple deep, And
But you were in the hole.
every cast I was catching a bass.
Yeah.
Right in front of them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're casting in the same hole.
Like swimming, like if they were swimming right around our feet.
yeah.
And thank goodness Will was where he was, because as submerged as he was, he sent at least one pack of Kitex downstream that my son picked up. My son's like, "Oh, what's that? Look at those Kitex. Let's go get those."
It's perfect.
George and Naz were like, what, about 100 yards towards the other bank of the river, and I think it took them about a half an hour to get. We kept yelling, "It's time to go! It's time to go!" because they needed to
Get moving
they
down
need to
to
get
Montana or
moving.
wherever. or get to the
Hamburg.
they had to get to Newark or somewhere to fly out west. Or,
There were some
wherever
cool
they were
guys.
going. But
But
yeah, they had,
that day for me, I'm going to Uncle Buck this one up here.
Do it.
Was the epitome of Rutten River. I mean, that was brotherhood in the river. It was
It was a good day.
It was going to the Jordan with John the Baptist, if you ask me, that day.
I was just going to say that same thing. It's amazing how we
You guys got some mad connection.
And I just
go down to the water
Yeah.
and pray. Is that what you think? Yeah.
it was a glorious Sunday.
There's my wounded knee. That's not the words.
No, it's not.
I screwed that up.
And yeah, but
Catfish was like, "I was going to go down to the river with Michael Jordan." There's something like that.
Jordan Peele.
but almost all of us were there that day, right?
I got the best 2D taxidermy picture, though, that day. Phil come up out of the river with a rod in his mouth, and a fish jumped behind him, caught a bass in midair while Will was reeling in a bass behind him.
exactly, yeah.
It was madness.
Wow.
You should enter that in some kind of.
And that's like
No,
fishing.
that's like Ant Glasgow's muskie. That's just for me.
and that was all within the 10 minutes of us sitting on that rock.
Yeah.
And that
I told you it was Lucky Rock. The only reason I said it was Lucky Rock is I was trying to get to Will's lucky fishing spot, and it got deeper than my Adam's apple, so I stopped at the rock.
those 10 minutes was worth living this last year of my life.
Yeah, amen. I agree.
You know,
It was
like,
gorgeous.
Thank God I lived this last year for those 10 minutes.
Yep.
What else? I mean, so what else happened there? I mean, you had a big year, and we said it a handful of times. You're becoming an outdoorsman. Tell us more.
I'm just getting out there. I'm following our own advice. Get out there.
You went deer hunting by yourself.
A ton
Yes.
this
Yes.
year. I hunted more time this year than I have ever have in my entire 45 previous years combined.
And you've seen deer, bears,
Bear, turkey,
turkeys.
just never got a chance
Well,
to shoot, guys.
But here's
that's all
here's
right.
what I
That-
love.
it's gonna
I'm
happen.
all right.
No,
I
but
mean,
wait, but wait. Here's what I love.
I'm okay.
Phil.
I'm okay.
Tell us about the blood you drew this year, because it wasn't a deer, was it? Did you shoot a bear? No, you drew a little blood though, didn't you, brother?
Oh, that's right.
Yourself?
Off the bridge of your nose.
yeah, I went to the School of Hard Knocks this year.
Did you get an eye patch?
No, I didn't go full pirate. I just went partial pirate. I experienced the full force of a 3-inch slug, 1 ounce.
Whatever. it was.
Ouch.
So, you know,
A 1 ounce.
You got the
Ouch.
south end of a good scope on the north end of
There
your
we
nose.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew after I did it what was happening. And all I did was ask Will, what's taking you so long to take a video of this? And he goes, I'm waiting for the blood to drip off. Then you know
it's not ready yet.
We're not ready yet.
yeah, and it was, you know, that
Almost there.
it's where it all came together.
There's some lumps that you have to take. There's some lumps that no one else can do. You won't, if you don't experience it, you'll never know. You know, and you don't forget something like that when you get smacked in the face by a gun.
And when that season, if like you still have some time, but if you're not successful, but you see a lot of deer, that makes you just even more hungry for the next season. I mean, the drive is there. Because I've been through it, and it's something you have to go through.
And I did so many first things this year too to throw it in there, and I don't want to use them as excuses at all, but I only hunted up until rifle season with a compound bow. I didn't bring out the string rifle. I wouldn't even allow myself to do that. But yet, after my woes of last year with the string rifle, I didn't take a bad shot with the compound. I learned last year.
It's not because you have anything against hunting with a crossbow. It's because it was a personal goal of yours, right?
Yes,
it's not
yes.
because
I'm not going to take any big game without a compound.
There's a niche in every hunter that something down inside of you tells you there's something I have to do. And you don't know it yet, but it's touched you. You want to take a whitetail with your bow, and you just don't get it because guess what? It's going to get more and more powerful every year that it doesn't happen until it just drives you insane until it happens. And then you will literally damn near cry when it does. It'll be that powerful.
Yeah. And now it'll be on film, hopefully.
So,
I can. If one of us remember to hit the record button,
yeah.
I swear it was blinking red. I don't know what happened,
but and then during the hunting season, what I got to see, even I saw deer, but I had a black bear walk in front of me. I could have shot that black bear much easier than I could have shot any deer this year.
That's how it always happens. The turkeys will sit right in front of you, and it's not turkey season.
And
for half an hour,
stupid
2 days after fall turkey season, I had the two toms
come up and sit in your lap,
a 10 and a 10 and a 7-inch beard, probably.
I like toms.
You got them on. You got a good picture of them, at least.
I have 30 pictures of them.
Wow. Is that on Instagram, bud? They were $2.
Yeah, nice. yeah. So
check that out.
It was a great year. I mean, I never took any meat home, but I had a great times while I was out in the woods.
So one
and it would never happen had I not been out there.
But one thing that sticks out the most to me was that you started going out by yourself for the first time. So you there was nobody to help. So if something would have went wrong or something, you would have shot an animal. You'd had to track it yourself. You would have had to dress it yourself. All that stuff. That's a big deal. So what drove you to make that decision?
I wouldn't have had to clean a deer had I not shot a deer. So I was playing it one step at a time, and I didn't worry about it. Yeah. Like I realized I can gut a deer.
You got 8 brothers to call.
But yeah, and I knew I had all of y'all to call.
But for anybody that's listening that may be on the fence about doing that, how do you get past that?
Just do it.
Just go.
Just go. Worry about it. You got to shoot one first of all.
If you
got to harvest a deer first of all.
If you
worry about it after that. Worry about then what you have to do after that.
If you worried about that would be like saying I want to go on a road trip, but I can't. I'm going to worry about blowing a tire, so I won't go.
Yeah, you're only going to make
about
excuses.
Something. You're worried about something that may or may not happen.
You're looking for excuses at that point.
And every single person that's blown a tire on a road trip has made it back.
Amen.
Except for unless they're like in a horror movie, then they don't make
They
it
never
back.
make it back.
This year was the first deer. This year was the first year I've killed a deer when I had a deer cart in the truck.
Yeah, that never happened.
Any other time I put a deer cart in the truck, I don't kill a deer. It's not in the truck, I kill a deer.
That happens every time I turn the GoPro on. I never catch a fish. I get it.
Yeah.
Till I turn it off or the battery runs out, and then there they are. But probably I got to ask though, the lack of deer that I saw in the small amount of time that I was able to hunt deer this year would probably fully make up for it to ask Kyle what he saw this year.
Me? Yeah, really.
I'm just saying you may. Was it like three plus nights you spent in a tree stand this year? Maybe
a couple more. You asked my wife. It's been since August, but yeah, I've luckily I've managed to get out a good amount of times this year, even with having a newborn in the house. I managed to successfully actually harvest 3 deer this year.
That's great.
Yeah, all doe, but yeah, it's been a blessing. Each one was actually unique. I was able to harvest my first deer on my little 11 acres that I bought.
Really?
Yeah, back in January. So that was
Nice.
You want to talk about like the ultimate like man experience? It's like shooting a deer in your yard, and as you're dragging it up like to your back door.
You're a homesteader.
Yeah, it's just like
That's awesome.
yeah, that's what it's all about right there.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to jump in, but I do. You know, I got
Go
this.
ahead, bud.
I
Jump
got
in.
this garage. As soon as I got it, I got this gambrel. And
Absolutely.
it was for hanging deer and I got to do that this year. That
Cool.
was I felt whole at that point, complete. I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's nothing that beats that feeling. I think all of us can agree as hunters when you have the opportunity to harvest an animal and you can basically take it from that moment where it dropped out in the field and to the point where you're processing. It's just
the point where you're feeding your family.
yeah. It's
So it's on the trigger.
Yep. It's something that's very very powerful, and I'd say
What's that taste like, bud?
deliciousness.
I haven't tasted it in 3 years.
Success.
So how many tags did you have this year?
I guess you'd say I'm privileged for the area, the state that I live in. I live in a special regs area for Southeast PA, so
Yeah.
they have a heavy abundance of doe tags. So I had a total of 6 doe tags in special regs, and then 1 doe tag for up in my cabin. So there's a good mix of doe tags
So
that I
you
had.
could have killed 7 doe and a buck, right?
Yeah,
So
this
if
year.
you would have, and you started hunting in September.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
so if
halfway
you-
through September.
If you would, by the end of September, would have killed 7 deer and tagged out, would you have been
Fishing with us on the
upset?
Susquehanna.
No, I think about that all the time. It's like I mean, I'm sure I'd be upset to a point.
You were out a lot, like a lot.
Don't give my wife any more fuel, all right?
I mean, from my perspective, you were out a lot.
No, yeah. I mean, I probably got out. I'd probably say maybe 8 weekend. No, probably maybe like 6 weekends, and I usually
But
take a
don't
week
lie.
off. And I take a week off every year around end of October, early November to try and chase them during the rut.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the year's been good for me. But I absolutely, I mean, the harvest that stands out the most is the one that I was able to pull off on my own
And
property.
did you did a food plot up there this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did just normal standard food plot for like some clover and stuff.
Year one food
yeah,
plot.
yeah, kind of year one. Just I'm still trying to figure out the property for my backyard, but yeah, I put a little nice clover plot in there. Unfortunately, this year we weren't able to get Will on a deer when he came out, but it's not lack for trying.
Lack of trying. Yeah.
I saw a couple.
That old man didn't walk through that
Didn't
for you?
The lucky old man.
No, but I still maintain 100% success rate because a member of our party did get a doe that day. But
Yeah. First day.
yeah.
So, catfish, I think one of the highlights of your year has to be getting your birthday present.
Yeah, catfish.
What the hell? The one I didn't know about.
Yeah, forever. So that's a tremendous story, and I don't know that we really told it.
I don't think we ever did tell that.
No, you didn't.
Well, first of all, let's back up. I was asked nicely to custom paint
Which you're talented, you're creative.
Like amazingly creative,
Love-
amazingly talented at this.
It was is it 11 foot rod?
Oh, that's an 8 foot.
Eight
Yeah.
foot. Yeah. So it's a custom swim bait rod
Yep.
from our buddy Wayne Campbell.
Yeah.
No eyelets on it. It's a blank.
It's just pure.
Yeah, he's got
It's a blank
the blank
canvas.
and the reel seat in the.
But when I was asked to paint this custom 8 foot beautiful swim bait rod, it was because it was for Stevie, and Stevie wanted to take it to Florida.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that it was Stevie's custom swim bait rod that needed to be painted.
We thought,
for Stevie.
it's a little 8 millimeter diameter, whatever, 5 millimeter diameter. With this little.
I'd have it done in 2 days.
Blow right through it.
Yeah. How long could that take?
It still needs one more thing of clear coat.
His birthday's in June.
It's the story of my life. Hunting and fishing does slightly get in the way of projects because every time I go to do a project, I go hunting. However, I had all intentions of finishing it for the Florida trip.
Yeah. So I think I picked up that blank from Wayne sometime in April.
Okay.
And the idea was you were going to paint it thinking that it was mine.
And have Wayne put the eyelets on
and have Wayne finish it
and take it to Florida.
And
before
I was
June 19th.
No, that was what we told you. But really, what we were going to do is you were painting your own rod.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that at the time.
So I said,
so
he got it done much quicker.
I said to him, I said, you know what, dude, keep this simple. R2 it out. Blacks, oranges, grays. White, just, R2 it out.
Keep simple is what catfish does, right?
Yeah.
If I remember one part of this story as it was progressing, I believe that Catfish had contacted Will, and he said, "Well, I leave a spot on the blank for the name."
That's where it gets
I
complicated.
called Will and I told him, I said,
Well, and
listen,
this is like 6 months later.
This is October.
After we got back.
This is Halloween.
Yeah, this is 6 months after we got back from Florida. I got this rod done. It's not quite a simple design, but it is done. I did it called Will, and I said, listen.
How do you spell Stevie?
How do you spell Stevie? And would you rather me put Stevie, Little Stevie, or Steve? Signature series. Rut and River Pursuits. On the
Campbell rod
pro staff on this, and he said, I don't know, Bob. Hold on, let me call you back.
I was like, I just kind of like. I started freaking out.
At this point,
I didn't know what to say.
At this point, I thought it was still Stevie's rod.
I
I'm
hung
already
up.
done painting it.
I hung up the phone and I called Stevie right away and I Bud, we got a problem.
Yeah.
We got a major.
We got to tell him.
We got a major problem. Stevie's like,
I don't know, Bud.
And so Stevie said, "Just tell him to spell it CATFISH. I mean,
that's how I spell it. C is silent.
he's like
The phone call.
Stevie says, well, the gig's kind of up.
Yeah, it's 6 months after his birthday.
He should know. Surprise.
Oh man, I do. To my defense, I have like 13 other projects right now that were due 2 months ago too. I will get them done. I always do.
But and it's funny is like
a guy at work gave me 5 deer heads to mount on old barnwood, but he gave them to me not this past rifle season, the year before that, and I told him, "Oh, give me a couple months, I'll get it done."
Yeah.
I got to get that one done too.
So,
I'm bad at that.
But Catfish is like, yeah, this is a really cool rod. Does he know how much those reels cost? Like, it's going to be a really big, this thing's going to be a beast. And
here's the wild thing was it was such an amazing
project.
It was an amazing project. Will called me back and was like, here's the thing. Me and Stevie, we actually got that rod for you as a present.
We all did. Everybody kind of pitched in.
Yeah, they got me this. You guys got me this rod for my birthday, and I screwed it up. Didn't get to take it to Florida. Had I known it was mine, I might have done it faster. However, it was an amazing present. It still needs the eyelets on it and done, but it will be done for topwater this year.
Yeah.
However, I told Will one of the parts of the story you may have never heard. I told Will on the phone. I said, I bought this really amazing orange and black reel for it so that Stevie will have a reel on it whenever I give it back to him.
He told me.
You even told me that.
I bought you a really nice reel for your rod.
Thanks. Every few weeks, Wayne will text me and say, "What's up with that rod?" Because he wants to get it done, I guess.
Just text him back simply. Catfish is still hunting.
That's what I said. Wayne, who's telling? I'm not going to tell Catfish to hurry up. Who tells sets Catfish's schedule for him?
Yeah, Wayne's not stepping up to confront Catfish.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Have I showed it to you?
I've seen
I
pictures.
saw some pictures. Yeah,
but I haven't seen it.
It's in the computer room. That's probably why I forget about it, because my computer don't work, so I never see it. Well, like last week, I was asked to make 2 custom duck decoys because there's some homemade Mojo wings that go on the side. I really need to get them done because we need them to hunt Saturday, and here it is Thursday night. So tomorrow night, if I get the chance, it'll be cutting. I got one night to make 2 custom duck decoys tomorrow night.
Should be enough time.
Yeah, I got time.
Enough for the paint to dry, at least.
Next duck season will happen.
I think that was,
I have lots of projects at once, so it's not my fault.
You have a hard time saying no, don't you?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I love it though. That the never-ending rod saga.
Lacey got her rod painted for Christmas this year in literally 8 hours. I had 8 hours to paint that rod.
That
it's done and
turned
wrapped
out-
up and gave to her.
It's more.
I
Than
don't know
that.
why it took me 8 months to paint the other one.
Well, even further, just prior to that, there was no gifts for anybody, and then just out of nowhere, like Santa Claus, Catfish Claus comes out and just there's boxes of gifts. I bought you, as much as I could afford, and and everybody has everything. It's crazy.
Well, I spend every last second of the week before Christmas trying to cram Christmas into Christmas. But unfortunately, the radiator blew out this year, and the week before Christmas turned into fixing radiator week.
Yeah.
So Christmas got done in 10 hours.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You should see my garage floor. It has pink overspray everywhere on the plow of the 4-wheeler. Some of my hunting clothes have pink color to them.
Yeah, that rod turned out great.
Thank you.
You did for her. That's really nice.
And that radiator.
I'll make you a small. I don't make promises, Steve, but I'll make you a small promise. One day, when you get a really nice swim bait rod like me, I will paint it for you, and I'll do it in 10 days or less.
I'll make sure I don't need it.
Don't worry about getting a reel though.
It'll get you a sweet one.
So what you're saying is Stevie's reels on my rod.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
However, I think the highlight of my year this year, honestly, was for me personally, would have been Florida. I so enjoyed Florida more than I could ever tell anybody, even more than I've ever let on. I needed a vacation. Soda's Point was an amazing reset, so much so that it made me happy. However, Florida is what I needed. And Boog was
awesome.
Boog was, once again, amazing. I've said it a few podcasts. I don't think he knows how great he was. But that was for me. I mean, I know that was for us, but I honestly just running 24/7, trying to fish the whole time was amazing.
It was like turkey hunting for peacock bass. It was like
amazing.
Running and gunning. This hole's done. Let's roll.
But I'd have to say the most amazing feeling I had all year. I had some pretty big ones. Sitting on the rock with Phil and Stevie, watching you catch fish. Watching the face that Ryan's little girl made while she caught crappies, calling me Uncle Catfish. I could go on and on about, the most amazing moments of Rutten River for me this year. Watching the look on George's face when we opened the smoker, that was a moment.
Yeah.
There was a moment there. Watching Naz catch his first, largemouth that he reached down the land and watched it flip out of his hand, the look on his face.
Wasn't that
it's these moments that we live for. But
Them
to me, the
all
most
catching the crappie.
yeah.
Yeah.
To me, the most epic moment for me this year was to be. I pushed a little bit this year in rifle season. I pushed my body a little bit past what I have in the past for many years. It was a physical, mental challenge. And at the end of 3 days of doing that, pushing corn and pushing woods out and kicking through jaggers, not 60 yards from me, I heard my father's rifle go off. There was a moment. There was this weird moment where I was happy. Mm-hmm. And I walked down to see a big smile on his face as he sat in his track chair, and he looked at me right at dark and went, I got one. She's laying down there. Mm-hmm. There's no words. There's no words for that. That was my epic moment of the year. And now he did get the opportunity to harvest 2 deer this year. And I had a lot of help with the second one, which was, again, such an amazing moment. But the one where I jumped the deer out of the corn was... that was my moment.
Yeah.
So
I loved, and not this is no way probably comparing, but like even the start of your deer season, your archery season, where you kind of you didn't lose a property, but you didn't have full access like you used.
I had to start over.
Yeah, you had this. You basically willed a deer in your freezer. I mean, you kind of pulled a deer out where you pheasant hunt or goose hunt. You pulled
it's really not a deer hunting area.
No, and you found where they could possibly be, and then it wasn't even set. Like, if you would have seen where he was set up to acquire this deer, like, there was a perfectly little catfish hole, I think I mentioned it, just cut out of the Greenbrier. Like, it was like, I'm right over there, and you could see like his silhouette where he made his catfish hole. It was just crazy, and it was
Well, that was the only deer I got to harvest this year, and I'm more than 100% okay with that, because I gave away the rest of my deer hunting season to Lacey and Dad. I didn't really hunt anymore after that. But to me, that Ryan said it best last week. It's teaching. It's teaching, not doing. And to me, this year, that meant more.
Yeah,
I've killed lots of deer in my life, so to help Dad get one was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So
you made a pretty cool video about that day, didn't you?
And then honestly too, I have to say this year, starting to put my ideas together collectively as I'm learning how to be creative with the videos that I took, because a lot of times I didn't do much with them. I would have to say that's a kind of shining star moment for me this year. Is just learning how to put my thoughts in order.
And these look great, man.
With video.
Yeah, the fishing vids that came like even 3-4 months after we did our summer wet waiting and whatnot, and you were coming out with those videos, and that made me look back and reflect upon the summer we had. And
well, next year's only going to be better.
Amen. And but again, I'm gonna piggyback off of our get to know catfish episode, but those were inspirations, I think, why now all of us have GoPros, I think, right? Now, after Christmas?
I found out something in life that, you can have some pretty cool pictures to remember, but your mind remembers the moment better if you have just a little bit of video. It remembers what the day was like, what the weather was like, certain smells in the air at that moment. Like when we went down with the guys from Deeper down that bank to get in the water, if you remember, the water was chilly that day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In that mud, when the first couple guys got through it to get in the water, that mud stunk.
Yeah.
It was like stagnant mud. And I looked at George and went, "You're next. Take that expensive. Take that expensive. You'll be good."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And what a day it was.
Yeah. Turned out good.
Well, and the crazy thing is too, like as we reflect back on the year, it's like we all plan for the success out in the field, whether it's catching the fish or shooting the deer. But as we sit here around the table and reflect on these memories, some of our best memories aren't even what revolves around us being successful. It's the memories that we create either as the group or the memories that we create with the special people that we celebrate our journeys with. And that's kind of what, for me, I think truly represents what we do as Rutten River.
This entire year, though, I'm left out probably the best thing that I've had in my life as far as brotherhood, and it has been this right here. Thursday nights at this podcast table has been some of the best memories I've had in my life. I've had a lot of friends in my life, and I've had a lot of friends leave. This table has something special at it, and the family and the listeners that we have that follow us and listen to us, and it's the feedback that we get behind the scenes has been really great. So I can't wait for 2018. Now that we've had a year to kind of hone in all what we want to do and say, and I think that wet wading, archery hunting next year, your rifle hunting season, Sammy's bear season might be better next year. Sorry, Sammy, I love you, boss. And I'm just saying, there's lots of things. Stevie's going to hunt next year more. I think 2018 could just possibly be better than 2017. It might be hard to think that, but I think it's going to be.
Put your seatbelts on.
Well, this was kind of a unique year for you, right? You said it many times about how you were just getting back into fishing, and just kind of like Ryan's journey. Like you didn't dip your toe in. You went.
And now he's got half Bass Pro Shops out in the ground.
You went nuts. Like there's a spectrum from mild to wild, and you're on the wild.
It's called an addiction.
I kind of tend to do that.
It's what we do, bud.
Yeah. I tend to.
I remember when he said, "I want to do a podcast." $20,000 worth of equipment later. I tend to do that.
Do what I do. Yeah, I can't. I don't even really know what the turning point was. Maybe the wet wading, the last year's the previous year's kayaking, where I think that was. It was the start. It was the seed. I didn't have it all together. I didn't have my kayak at the time. But like that, Catfish taking me out and
was it when we did a little foam collecting on the river?
The foam collector.
You can't tell me you're not addicted to kayak catfishing now.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of my highlights. Was that night?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean. Go ahead if you want to tell it.
No. I want to finish up on what Stevie's saying. You're the highlight of Rutten River this year is Will Miser. I'm sorry, but you have pushed, made thousands of phone calls, have made so many connections. But past hunting and fishing, the hunting and fishing industry is. I've seen you grow. You have your own epic kayak, your own fishing montage full of crazy gear. You're practicing more than ever out with all of your gear, with your crossbows and your bow. You used to spend so much of your spare time doing these things, and now you spend it all doing outdoor stuff. There are so many different things. Like, have you touched your mountain bike this year? Or have you been on your subboard this year?
Actually, not. Well, one time with the subboard.
Yeah, but I'm saying is
we should subboard fish.
Your heart is channeling through what you love to do. And
I need that strap. I need that fishing rod strap that Ryan's putting out. Bob's your uncle tackle.
Bob's your uncle.
Walk the old dang company.
I'd like to personally thank you. Your passion for everything that you do drives me and us. I would not like to speak for the group, but
you can speak for the group.
Yeah.
Also, how you kind of put us first.
Yeah.
You know, like you
I don't know about all that.
Well, a lot
he
of
would
time-
go fishing without you if you had the chance.
He does, and
Because you're not available typically. Or
yeah, exactly.
Or
That's
off
not
with
because
dad.
We don't know about
Yeah,
it.
but Will definitely wouldn't go on a duck hunting trip to
but-
Texas by himself.
Yeah,
I know he wouldn't do
perfect
that.
Not without
examples-
asking first.
Perfect example would be the first day of Deeper, where you just let Ryan and I take the reins, and you just kind of hung back, and you know just hung out, and you were catching some fish, but you kind of just let us go, and you were like, "Here, go," and it's like, "Hey, Will, do you want to get in front of the camera?" No. You guys are fine, you know.
yeah.
It was a test young Padawan. He was watching from a distance.
Yeah, and thank God DK knows how to catch fish, because otherwise it'd have been ugly.
You're kind of underselling it. Like I was just standing behind the camera, behind George, just polishing my axe to see who was going to make it.
Who was next?
Choose your words wisely, D.
Ryan, it's great that you have a face for the camera.
And thank goodness you can catch fish. We made it, buddy.
Yay!
It was only 100 degrees out that day.
Man, it was
No wonder
hot.
you didn't catch
Oh, my
much.
You guys haven't made it to the Great American Outdoor Show yet.
There's
So people.
There's no time for sleep.
there's a lot, you know, and I do appreciate it all. There's no us if it's just me doing everything or Catfish is doing everything. We've been there. First of all, you know,
For 7 years.
first 7 of the 10 years it was just us, you know, and as much as we wanted other people, we didn't have that. I don't know. It just wasn't gelling.
Well, that's what I was saying about this group over the last year. I think that we finally found it.
Yeah.
It is what it needs to be. And now it just grows as a brotherhood.
Yeah.
I give David Kyle a lot of crap. Only because I'm not quite sure he's 100% in yet.
And I give Phil crap.
I hear him upstairs and nobody's listening, going, "I ain't sure about all this shit." But
That's not true.
Yeah, he says it down here too.
the last guy in's always going to get crap. But I actually feel
As long as I can still be the new guy, we're good.
I feel now with David Kyle, I feel like it's finally whole.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I'll never say it again. So
we-
take it in.
I'm not.
That's recorded, so we're good.
I'm not certain. You know, I'm not going to say one way or another, but I mean, I'm not anxious to fill that number 8 spot. This is
I'm good with 7.
this is what it needs to be for now.
7-minute abs.
The magnificent 7.
Not 6, not 8. It's 7.
My year has been spectacular. Made some big gains in hunting whitetail. Colin, my great friend, gave us some permission to hunt 60 acres, fairly close to our house, and gave us carte blanche. Cut down trees, do what you need to develop these, this deer habitat and
Turkey.
Could we do more? Absolutely. Are we going to do more?
Yes.
Yeah. But we got it started. And it was a lot of talk for a long time, but this year was more. We started to make it happen, and cool things.
No, we didn't. You did. That's what impresses me the most. As you've said for years, you've always what you've loved about me is I just go do things by myself, and
yeah,
I've watched you do everything that you've taken in from your friends, Tracy Groves, and the industry, and you went and applied it by yourself this year and excelled at it. Like you had deer all over you in archery season, and you were selective. I did, you were up in lock-ons, and I know it was a big year for you. Don't undersell it. You've done more this year, like taking different risks and trying different things than you have last year. So,
And in the empowerment of what he did too with that. I mean, you're the reason why I was out alone. I mean, you're the reason why I got up in a freaking tree stand.
Will drives you.
Well, he challenges
like
me,
an
and
old diesel
and he
Ford.
removes my obstacles. I mean, he does. I mean, he's
Good.
Yeah.
It's good to have one of those.
yeah,
Yes.
he's a brother,
yeah. And
flat out.
beyond that, the fishing, I've been. I have to say it. Maybe next year won't be as lucky, but like
You caught some nice fish.
Did you catch a big peacock bass this year?
I didn't hear about that.
I didn't either.
The biggest fish were
How
caught.
big was Stevie's?
You caught the biggest lake trout, the biggest peacock bass. You caught some monster bass this lake, even down at Lake Mead and on the river, largemouth and smallmouth.
Yeah.
Hey, Stevie,
Yeah.
you know what he didn't catch?
A muskie.
The biggest muskie.
Year ain't over yet.
I got a couple.
You got 3 days.
You got 3 days. Challenge accepted.
Countdown has begun.
If I can get in between the ice chunks, with my swim bait, I might have a shot. But I mean, that's the thing. Having those. It was just a magical year, and I don't know that.
Can you say that you've had a few of those moments like I was trying to talk about?
Oh, dude!
They don't last but a few minutes. They're moments.
That deer that I got, I missed 2 with my crossbow. It's in a pile right now in pieces because I missed 2 deer right out of the gate. Who has an opportunity to miss deer like that in one day? And then in the evening, I actually take a deer with my compound bow, leaving her overnight, and having to back out.
To apply to everything you've learned.
Yeah, and just all those emotions that kind of go into it, and then in the morning, I had to stop and got a cup of coffee and got in the parking lot, and Phil was in the parking lot before I was there, to track this deer, and it was a super fun track.
I need to interject there. I mean, Will shot that doe, but finding that doe was much more tribal.
That's our deer, yeah, for sure.
I thought you were going to say, but I found that deer.
No.
Oh, he did.
No, it was. I was
going to say, I heard this story.
I'm thankful that Will drug me along on that morning.
I'm glad you tripped over it.
He called me right after you guys departed from each other or found the deer. I don't remember when, but he called me that morning. And it makes me smile even from my garage because I can see it. I can feel it through the phone because I've been there. I know what that moment is like. And I smiled really big going, that's a good morning. That was a good morning for you.
It was a great morning.
Yeah.
Not only did I get to do that once with somebody, I got to do it twice.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, after you scared the crap out of yourself in the cornfield.
Come on through the corn. It'll be all right.
Yeah, we got Lacey within 10 yards of the deer.
I think it went this way.
Where'd it go? They're standing right over top of it. Which way do you think it went? Over there. Yeah, let's look over. Let's look right there, right in front.
No, Will.
I honestly think, I way overuse the word epic from the beginning sometimes, but I think 2007 was pretty epic.
I love it.
Yeah, it was good.
Love it. Yeah, and this, so I think it's time to kind of wrap up the show, and this is like we are officially as current as we possibly can be. And I think this would be a good episode to start in the current
It would be
series.
It would be a good episode.
Get in the current.
The current is just going to be about us. So whatever we're doing that week or whatever's upon us is going to be, we can talk about that. And like I said, we have episodes that are guest heavy. And then we kind of got a little bit away from just us being able to tell what's going on right now. So this is the current, guys.
Get in it.
Get in it. Yeah, very cool. Anything else?
there's ice forming on the lake. So since we're in the current, we're going to be ice fishing this weekend.
It's getting hard.
It absolutely is.
Well, and if you're not going to go sit on the ice or in with the ice and do your fishing thing, it is late season archery and flintlock, and I will be out 2 days from now, freezing.
Yeah.
With the flintlock, trying to knock something down with a smoke pole.
Praying that it's powder lights.
Well, if it does, it does. If not, I got a GoPro now, so it'll look cool anyway.
There you go.
Get you some.
Yeah, currently here in Pennsylvania, it's pretty frigid cold out. It's cold.
This is unusual for this.
It's
time of year.
unusually cold.
This early, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no break in it over the next 10 days. It's actually supposed to get colder, like -0 at nights.
But last year there was one day where I could ice fish, and I got out for like an hour. So we're gonna get out, even before the end of the year this year. So I haven't been this excited since.
It hasn't.
I'm super excited. We've
Since you brought your
2 weeks
FS10.
ago.
This will be the first we get to ice fish with the deepers too. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like being able to yank a fish out and you don't even have to get that flasher out of the water. Just bobbles around.
I was kind of thinking about just sitting in the garage and sending you boys over to bring me back some fish.
Whatever you want, bud.
Whatever you're into.
Yeah, let's get
We'll
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Welcome 2018 in a few days.
Can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Gonna be a great year.
God bless y'all.
David Kyle, where can they find us?
So you can find us at RuttenRiverPursuits.com, R2 Pursuits for Instagram and Twitter, Rutten River Pursuits Podcast on YouTube and Facebook. Check us out on all those platforms. Like us, subscribe to any of those things. Give us a review on iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating, and we'll see you.
1 star, I'll take anything.
True. Yeah, 1 star would be fine. But I think you get a hat if you give us a 5-star and prove it at the Great American Outdoors Show. Stevie said something about that. I don't know.
You at least get a shout out on the podcast.
Stevie said about giving him his hat.
At least,
His hat.
At least give a shout out.
You definitely get a sticker.
Get you some.
And
What are we, millionaires? We give out all these stickers?
we promise Phil will, in 2018, Phil will not read the reviews.
Definitely not reading
Because it
reviews.
didn't work out.
Yeah, stop it, y'all.
2018 is a year
Stop
of
it.
budget cuts.
I
2D
had
taxidermy.
laryngitis.
Do not
Too
forget
long.
to do the 2D taxidermy, though.
Hashtag 2D taxidermy. Try to get your picture of the week on our front page of our website.
Exactly. Share everything you can. Let your friends know how great it is to hang out with us.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Ring 'em weeded.
Thanks, guys.
Weedless.
Weeded. Weeded.
Ring 'em weeded.
It's 2018. We got to change it up.
I'd go rattlesnake hunting if somebody
Shot it and killed it and
stood in front of me and behind me and held it down so that I was sure I didn't miss.
Want me to kick this pig?
Kick this.
Somebody hold it down.
Hey, thanks, Stevie. Appreciate it.
Hey, Phil, kick this pig.
Hey, guys.
Good
welcome
evening.
to
Short drift.
At what point did you know it was a catfish?
Probably about 6-7 minutes.
Whenever
into the
he
fight.
comes up out of the water
I
and
assumed,
says, "Good morning."
morning. It's going to be a good day.
I assumed